So coming into MotoAmerica, we are coming into VIR. You got the Michelin man right there. You got an ambulance. Wow, they even have the helicopter. Wow, that's amazing. That's the first time I've seen the helicopter out here. That is amazing. They got the ambulance. So you got the Yamaha thingy-majiggy. So you got the usual suspects with Yamaha. Got the Tenere. Tenere is big. My God, man, this thing gets bigger and bigger by the day. Like everything else in America, it just gets fat. That's a little 125. Yep, that's a little 125 Yamaha came up with. Amazing, man. Liquid cooled disc in the front, disc in the back. That's amazing. It's a cute little bike. I wonder what this is. It's a little it's got a key for a toolbox. That's a toolbox right there. That's a cute little bike. Nice. Looks really nice in the back. That's a cute little bike. 125cc. Nice. Old school TW200 with the big bubble tie in the back. So that's a tent right there. I guess they're doing demos. Look at that, fully loaded. Nice. You throw the trash. That's a fully loaded Tenere Wild Raid with all the doodads. Nice. Yeah, so you got the helicopter right there. Damn. Let me not point the camera at me. How you doing? Nah, I don't know. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, so you have the usual clothing. Rabbit is always around. I think they must have had a moto games or some kind. Givi. Got the other stuff. Mission. This nice tent right there. Whatever, rods for race lines, whatever. Got the bad boys right there. Rods for race lines. So it's like looks like a ladies thing. Cigars. Oh my goodness, man. We got cigars being sold. Stoogie Mountain cigars. Lord have mercy. BP. Making all that power. 100 octane. You can buy 100 octane over here. They got a 100 octane gas. Look at that. 110 octane at $14. $14. Lord have mercy. What kind of blend that is. Yeah, 100 octane for $14.19. Even the little fly wants 100 octane. Fly, what do you want 100 octane for? So we got rain at the racetrack. Oh yeah, that's a nice setup. Kemimoto, that's a nice one. Yeah, so that's a.
You can't go too fast. It's gonna go over.
Yeah, so we got the rain.
Yeah.
Who's your blacks in, my brother?
That's a racetrack right there. Yeah, so right now we're at the paddock area. You can see everybody's on scooters. So this is a MotoAmerica stand. That's my scooter, my buddy Derek lent me a scooter. And yeah, so that's the stand right there. And this is the MotoAmerica stuff. Those are the scooters right there. That's mine. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so they got the MotoAmerica t-shirts, as you can see. It's pretty interesting. And I gotta give them MotoAmerica credit though. Their t-shirts are pretty, excuse me Derek, let me get by you sir. They're pretty decent quality. The ones I've had anyway. They don't shrink as bad as like a Walmart t-shirt. So this is the tires that they, so all these are tires that they been used up. You can see how much they have blistered them. It's amazing. You can see the blistering on the tires. Yeah, so this is a whole setup for doing tires. And you can see the tires. And I think at this, I'm not sure whether this is a, yeah, it's all Dunlop. So this is a whole Dunlop setup for doing tires. You got the tire machines right there. And you can see the guys who do the tires. So it's a whole setup. You can see they got a whole truck of tires. So this is like the service area of the MotoAmerica. So you can see this is Progressive Honda. And so you see the groups, how they set themselves up. So you can see that's a, let me cross the road. So look at that bike. That's a Progressive Honda with a handle. That's a Progressive. You can see that. You can see the safety tie, everything. Like you see the exhaust, like those safety ties on it. You know, you can see the. You can see the. What is it called? The tire warmers. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. So this is a HRC. So this is Honda Racing. I think this is closely tied to the Honda team. So this is their whole setup right here. HRC setup. You can see the bikes. That's the bikes also. You can see even a snap-on with Honda tools on it. See a little bit torn apart how it is. You see the oil cooler at the bottom. That's amazing right there. You can see that exhaust. Acro. Nice. That is beautiful. You can see how it wraps underneath the bike. That's nice. We can do an ad for Motul. You can see the Motul all getting put in there. That's the old oil. That thing uses a lot of oil. whole more tool going in the bike. All right. So I'm out here. This is a paddock. Get the shit out of me. So this is the paddock area.
I checked in with him just ahead of that track familiarization session about riding in the wet, and obviously all the tracks that are underneath him. We've seen him get up to speed quickly here, but the rain obviously changes things a bit. He did have a wet race at the bridge, so they have a good idea.
So this is we're still on the paddock area. So this is giving a little tour.
Changing conditions when I spoke with him.
The other thing too is he brings so much information to there.
So I'm at this is parking for the, you see that's a paddock area now. You can see the whole paddock once you stand over here. So this is parking for the people. You can see the parking for the people out here. See that? That's a MotoAmerica. India. Check out the Africa Twin. Check out that Africa Twin. Beautiful colors on that. Nice. We've got a Honda of some kind. That's a 500 Honda. Look at that Africa Twin. Nice. Covered up. And you can see the paddock area. Let's come over here, check this out. So you got an MT-07 Suzuki, nice. With the colors, let me keep an eye on my scooter. Suzuki with the colors. That's a Repsol. Look at the R1 Repsol, nice. Look at that gold one. That's a beautiful bike up. Come out this way. You can see the rest of the paddock. Check out that gold wing. Nice, that's like the Valkyrie. The Panamera. Those are naked looking, strange looking things. Nice, that's a nice old school. That is nice old school. Nice. That is a nice old school bike. Nice Royal Enfield. That's a Royal Enfield, nice. That's a bear. That looks beautiful. At the GS 450, nice. Look at the motor. The guy got the whole setup, nice. Then you got the, whew, look at that thing. That's like a Street Fighter. Lord have mercy, look at that. Look at that, the packaging, the exhaust. Street Twin, nice. That looks nice. Check out, man, the Africa Twin looks nice. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Look at the Africa Twin. That is beautiful. That is nice. Ninja 400. That's not a bad looking bike. Old school ST. Nice. With those V's, you can see the engines. You can see that engine sticking out that way. Nice. Look at that. S1000. Yamaha. Nice. That's a carbon. Got a nice carbon look to it. Nice. Yamaha. Okay, 1150 RT. Man, even got the water bottle. Nice. That's a nice Aprilia. That is beautiful. That's a nice Aprilia. Nice. 660. Nice. That's a Ninja. I think that's a Ninja 1000. That is a nice looking bike. That is a nice looking bike. Nice. Got the Road Glide. Nice. Indian. And some other one. That's a Kawasaki of some kind. Yeah, so there you got the Christian motorcycles. You give them your gear and they look out for you. Yeah. So that's you give them your gear. So that's a paddock area right there. Alright. So we got the Honda lineup right here. Hello? Yeah, so that's a Honda lineup. We got the famous Goldwing right there. Nice. Look how big this bike is. 6-cylinder, a flat 6. Nice. We got the usual Rebels. Ooh, you can't knock on that. Africa Twin. Nice. I mean, just the different itinerations of the Africa Twin. Then we got the 1000 Double R. Nice. I'm surprised. Usually they don't bring these 1000s for the demo rides. I'm very surprised. Usually they don't bring the 1000. Nice. I got quite a few pair of Goldwing there. That's like the Valkyrie. He doesn't have the the thing on the back. I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's like a car. I mean, look at that screen and everything. Nice. And I think this is a DCT. You can see there's no clutch pedal. Nice. Look at that. That is beautiful. See, now this one has a clutch pedal. You can see, so this is a regular one. That's a beautiful color. Oh, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. The Transact, nice. So this, you get a lot of money for this. A lot of bike for. This is a lot of money for your. Look at that, adventure, nice. That's an Africa Twin, man. Africa Twins just look nice. It's a lot of money. I like, and Honda gets the colors right. The color schemes. That's a Transact. That's a lot of bike for your money. And these are the other. These things are nice. Got a little 400 that costs like $1 million. But anyway, of course you got the Goldwing 650R. That's a nice bike. I hate this little this e-clutch thing. Just looks ugly with that whole contraption, but I guess it still allows you to have a clutch. You still have the clutch, so you still have the clutch, and you got the thing. You Even though that whole contraption does look ugly. That's another one with the E-clutch right there. That's a 500. These are nice bikes. They don't get a lot of attention, but this is a nice bike. And then we are back to the usual, the Rebel. That's a nice bike too. The 1100, that's got the Africa twin motor in it. And little 300 right there. So this, we're still in the paddock area. Yeah, so my buddy lent me, he lent me a scooter, and that's a scooter right there. So this is people's bikes. So you got a Hayabusa right there. Nice, look at that Hayabusa. Nice, look at that thing. That is nice. Look at this dude, man. He's wired. He wired his. He don't play. He got the helmet wired shut. That's a nice bike. That is nice. Look at that. That's a Yamaha. Look at that. Nice. Harley Davidson. That's interesting little lights at the top. Those lights are interesting. Look at that Africa twin. Nice. This man has been everywhere. This man has been to Canada too. He made it to Canada, I guess. Rare KTM. Look at that KTM with the colors. The man came with a full race suit. So it's an old Kawasaki. That's an old Kawasaki. Make sure I don't get hit. Okay, got an ammo can from Harbor Freight. Panigale. Nice. Look at that thing. Panigale 959. That's an old Interceptor. That's old school right there. That is super old school. Nice. Man, the man got the whole Givi setup. Lord have mercy. That's an old set. Nice. That's old. Man, I didn't even know that. It's got the radiators on the side too. That is beautiful. That is nice. That's Ninja. I like that Kawasaki with the racing. Make sure I don't hit nobody's bike. So that's a nice VFR. I didn't even know the radiators are on the side. Sprint 1050, nice. Look at that little Kawasaki. Let's go check that out. Look at that thing. That's like a TW. Oh my God, that's crazy. How do you do that? That is madness. That is madness. That's freaking some redneck shit right there. Straight up MAGA right there, man. I bet you, man, that's a Trump supporter right there. Look at little simple Kawasaki. That is beautiful. That is just a nice setup. Simply done, beautifully done. I like the SW Motec bags. That is beautifully done. Nice aqua pipe. That is beautiful. That is nice. That's a Ninja 400, I think, or 500. Beautifully done. Let's go down this one. The VFR. They got a VFR club right there. That's a Concours. Nice. Tiger. That's a Tiger right there. That Ducati is beautiful. That is nice. And that's a Multistrada S. Wow, that is beautiful. Look at that Tiger. That is beautiful. Now, that is well done. That shorty exhaust just down there. Beautiful setup. Nice. That's a nice setup. How you doing? Doing well. How about you?
Good, good. You gotta get a good bike on this thing.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you even got the whole. When I came by, I was like, I got the whole suit. No, that is nice though. Yeah, that is beautiful. What year is this?
08.
08?
Yeah.
Nice.
I used to race it here.
Okay.
So it's street legal, but it ain't.
Okay, so yeah, so you just put the
I
lights
just put the
on.
lights back on.
Yeah, just put the lights on. That's nice. So yeah, I can see everything. Yeah, that's a beautiful bike.
Thank
Yeah, I saw the race suit. I was like, yeah, that man is ready. Oh, you guys have a good one.
You do the same.
Yo, you're welcome. Look at that. Woo. The man took the dual sport out. Look at that GS. Nice. That's a Honda, old school Honda. Well, let's see where the let's see. Oh yeah, you know the radiators. You know the radiators are on the side. Come on, man. Ooh, man, put a lock on that son of a bitch. You don't want nobody stealing that. That's a little 310. I test drove this thing one time on a demo ride. This thing shakes. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. That thing shakes like a motherfucker. Yamaha. Oh, Mr. Dual Sport is right there. That's my boy right there, Mr. Dual Sport. And what is that? That's a DR200. That's my boy right there. I should have come up with mine. That's my buddy. Suzuki Tiger. Look at that son of a bitch. Freaking looks like a tank. Woo, look at that GS. Oh no, that's a Tiger. Talk about a GS. I should see the exhaust. That can't be a GS. That's an old school Tiger. That's a Gucci, Moto Gucci. That looks nice. I like the round lights. That looks nice right there. Anyway, so so once they finish racing, they got the scrutineering. So the bikes, I think, are checked over. I think they check the weight. They check a few things. And I know MotoGP has the tire pressures, but this is what they do. So they do scrutineering. So I'm not sure what class this was, but they'll come and they'll get like an inspection. And they probably do get an inspection even before the race starts. So that do happen. So that is what is it called? That's gonna be the winner stand right there. My buddies told me they're somewhere around here. I gotta look for them. But that's pretty cool. He lent me this scooter. That's a pretty nice. It's actually pretty cool. I'm gonna buy one of these. I mean, I always come to these places and I walk like 20 miles. This thing makes a big difference. Ain't no shame in the game. You can see those are rain tires. So you can see the difference between a slick and a rain tire. And I think this bike looks like it crashed. Because you can see all the dirt on it. And that's a transponder, I think. That little thing hanging is a transponder. So you can see this one crashed. And man went all the way we went digging out there. Like a tractor. Lord have mercy. So right now, hello? So right now they got the Talent Cup going on. And actually that's a good thing about sitting here. You get to see it on the track. And the track dried up pretty quick. Because it was raining earlier and the track is dry. So it's pretty, it's a pretty decent setup.
That and know coming in that hey, there could be some rain on the track. Out in front of them.
So you got a old school Honda Elite. That's an old school bike right there.
Now it's nearly 4 seconds.
So this is where they have the team set themselves up on this.
Early racing team down on pit lane.
They set themselves up here. You can see the different teams. You can see Ducati, Warhorse. You can see Progressive, Attack Yamaha.
This one really comes down
and you can see so the team set themselves up here.
Such a big gap over.
And then you can see the guy with the sign. There's a guy with a sign right there. So that's where they set themselves up. So you got a guy who Caterpillar. They brought a couple of their pieces of equipment here. So this is a digger. And most of these places rent out. So this used to be my job when I used to work greasing these things. So I had to find all these little grease points. I became a master of finding grease points. That's one right there. So everything got a grease point. Everything got to be greased. Whatever there is metal to metal contacts, this got to be greased somewhere here. So this is what I used to do. Grease point down there. I used to do this for forklifts. This is whatever picker of some kind. Off-road. And I think this is four-wheel drive. Yeah, it's a four-wheel drive. So the tires, yeah, ready for rent. Costs a lot of money. And probably some of this thing probably has AC. I will not be surprised if it has AC and everything.
Get as many podium results, but he's so quick.
Yeah, so this thing is.
Go back to Laguna. Was disappointed there. Felt like he should have.
Yeah, so like we were talking about grease points. Got a grease point right there, right there. Everything got a grease point. And you can see this is, it's like hydraulic control. You can see the hydraulic lines going to it.
As they come through, kids are able to get around and
that's for somebody else. And this is where all the engine and stuff is. The engine is on the side. You can see the cooling. You can see the radiator. You can see some kind of a smaller cooler. You can see even a smaller cooler there. Probably the AC condenser is somewhere back there. And you can see the engine right there. You can see all the regen stuff right there. So that's so that's a Caterpillar machinery.
coming off of the front straightaway the last couple of laps. It's allowed Jake to.
This little thing, I see people using it all the time. I guess it's a compact of some kind. And I've seen them all over the place.
Nathan Gauker continuing to lead.
It's an interesting little
He has
thing.
slowed the pace down. His last lap was a high 35, so less than 3 seconds between himself and Sam Drain, who's also not running that same low 35 pace that he was running at the beginning of the race.
Because I don't even know where do you drive it from. I guess you just let it do its thing. I guess it's controlled by remote. It gotta be remote control. That little motherfucker probably weighs like 1,000,000 pounds. Yeah, so it's a compactor. I think it must be remote operated. And then you can look at the skid steer. Woo! Fight for ODC. Man, they hooked it up. Skid steer. Look at that with the rubber tracks. Not gonna chew up the ground. Nice, hook it up nice. Good old fashioned skid steer. They got that some bitch running. You can even see the guys blowing it. Okay? The guys blowing air on it. You can see the guys holding a blower to it so you don't overheat it. Got that camera setup. That is nice. That's the real deal. Wow, here the other one. Like I say, this is where they set themselves up. You can see the generator right there. That's an old school Honda Elite. That's Warhorse Racing Ducati. You can see this. I don't know who this is, but you can see the bike. That's a beautiful bike. That's the R9. Okay, so that's the R9 set up for racing. This is the S-Track Racing Team. So you got an R9 that's set up for racing. And you can see the other bike right there. I think that must be a bigger bike. I'm not sure I'm not sure whether, I think it could be the same thing. No, I think that's a different class than the R9 right there. So this is S-Track Racing. Nice setup. Beautiful colors. I love the colors. Check out that rig. That is a beautiful rig. Private coach, not for hire. So beautiful colors on that. So I'm just gonna walk down the paddock. Like I said, look at that's where they set themselves up. Just gonna walk down the paddock. Ooh, look at that! Hear that! Look, hear that! Bang! Hear that! Bang! Just look at that. That is beautiful. That's R7. That is beautifully done. That is beautiful. That is nice. So that's an R7. So some of these places you can get like a garage. That's my buddy right there. So you can see the setup. Like on some of these places they do have a full garage, and so at least a good thing you're working indoors. That's not bad. So you can see the setup. It's a bike right there. That's one of the races. You can see even the suits have a cooling fan. You can see the way they're hanging. They got a cooling fan, kind of cools in this sweaty heat. Even though today we got a gray sky, it's still hot and sweaty, so that cools them off. I mean, at least you run and I guess also you wear like a liner on the inside, or at least I would wear. You don't want to be like Quartararo. He doesn't wear a liner, and his suit must be stinky. So this is a lot. Look at this. So look at that little scooter. That's a cute one. Nice colors. That is beautiful. Aprilia. That is a nice one. Aprilia Racing. That's beautiful. So now we're in the paddock area. Before, you could actually climb those stairs and go up there and watch them come down on the straight. Can't do that anymore. Make sure I don't get run over by anybody. So you see that some people have set themselves up. And you can see that's a guy with a bike set up right there. Ooh, the whole setup. Lift it up. Damn, he don't play. See, I think the sun wants to peek out. You can see how much of a setup. Look at that setup.
And the next time we go out to the racetrack, it'll be at Coda, where they started their season.
That's people. That's where I was earlier. We can walk down this way. We can see what's here. So this is also more paddock area. Look at the little Honda. That's cute. Let's go the Honda. So some of the setups here. That's a little Honda Grom.
I can't thank them
Nice.
for the racing car, but we're supported by Wrench Crew, and they had the bike going fantastic all weekend.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, it started to be a little iffy before the race because it was a
Some of these guys are privateers. They do their own thing, and they spend a lot of money. Can you imagine somebody's volunteering to race, and they are doing it out of pocket. Some of them had advertisers. That's like a cute little bike. I saw that guy with that. It's a cute little bike. So they have advertisers. I mean, you can see like now this one has advertisers. And some of these are just privateers. They're just there for the love of what they do. Yeah, so you can see that. That's a setup where they're pulling their own trailer back there. I mean, that's a nice old school. You can see how it is. So you can see somebody like this Vistra. That's like their own pulling a trailer. So you can see they're pulling the trailer, kind of. So you can see it's like their own Supergirl. So that's probably a lady there who races that. So you can see Supergirl racing. So you can see that's their own setup. You can see a sprinter. See. So you can see that guy like that. He's probably you see setups like this is probably like a family affair. That's interesting, yeah, right there. These guys are packing up to go. With the rain tires on. See everything carbon. Look at the that's a propane tank right there. Right there, that's a propane tank. Interesting. So you can see this is their setup right here. It's a nice. I gotta give it to Honda. That's a beautiful electric SUV. Small people are getting ready to go home. So this is Arthur's, and you can see it's got a lift on it too. So we talk about mom and pop. You can see that. That's like a mom and pop setup right there. Donut racing. Find local advertisers and you do your thing. See that? That's a beautiful bike. Apples, nice. Yamaha, beautiful with the rain tires on. So now it's time to go home. It's a nice another setup. Look at the little dog. He don't want to go anywhere. So that's also another setup right there. Shriba Racing BMW Motor Race. So this is nice. It's like I said, a lot of these like you find the family things. That's a beautiful bike. FJ. That's a beautiful FJ.
I mean, everybody else.
Yeah, so you find these mom and pop kind of setups, and people supporting they're supporting local advertisers, that kind of thing. Nice. John's small. You can see they're putting back stuff. So these guys, they set up, and then today's a Sunday, today's the end of race day, and then they're gonna be out. Look at that. They're gonna load up all the tires. Ingersoll. Look at that. They got an Ingersoll right there. So they're gonna load up and they're gonna go. Must be one of the young men from the Talent Cup. Nice. Look at that. Ingersoll. I gotta give gotta keep on remembering to take off that little stand. I gotta give it a Volvo. This thing looks nice. I gotta give this thing. He must be suffering right there, poor guy. That Volvo looks nice. That is beautiful. I gotta give it to Volvo. That is beautiful. Look at that thing. And you can see it's got the radar, it's got a detector, they got the radar in the front. But that is beautiful. That's a nice, sleek truck. I mean, it's... Damn, I gotta give it to Volvo. That's a beautiful truck. This Extra has been there for a while. Extra has been there for a long time. I remember even... what is the name of that guy? He used to race for Extra. He was called... what's this guy? He's got a Spanish sounding name. I'm forgetting his name, but he used to race. So that's a very old team. It's been in the MotoAmerica for a long time. I don't know what his name is. He came back from racing for out of retirement. Rahul, they've been there for it. Rahul was there in Rahul was even in kart racing. When I used to watch kart, Rahul was there. So this is a Rahul. I mean, they own a couple of dealerships. These are big money people. This is a big money. Rahul has been there for, they're into everything. So Rahul is big money. Extra, still the Suzuki Extra. Look at that little stupid. So they're gonna do that poor dog is suffering, man. They're making that poor guy with the 3 legs. He's having such a hard time. That's abuse right there. That's abuse right there. That guy, that Dunlop. That is poor guy is. They should give him a rest. That is abuse. But maybe he's enjoying it. So we're gonna see what they're gonna have. Like I said, this is what they have. I think the Superbike race is coming up next. Man, I can never get over how beautiful the Africa Twin is. Africa Twin is the shit. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna get a scooter. I thought these things were I always thought about a scooter. I say, man, these things are cheesy. Therefore, it's for girly men. But this thing makes a big difference, especially when you go into events. It makes a big difference. That guy's still going, poor guy. He's still going strong. I feel sorry for him. So keep an eye out for people. The Grom has become the oh, you're gonna come back down here? Yeah. Oh yeah, no, do your thing. I'm gonna do. So we're gonna post out here, watch the race.
So as we look at our points leader, so Sean Dillon to the left part of your screen, 249.
I don't know what old timer. We always have old timer. Old timer is always weird. And nothing as weird as old timer.
Launched himself into third position just after the last race. And at this point, Jay, you have to look at it and say,
like I said, old timer is strange. You cannot beat old timer. So why did you park that car right in front of people? Americans are strange people, I'm telling the truth. You can live a million years, you never figure them out. Good people though, but strange.
I'm really impressed this weekend with Richie Escalante on the Suzuki.
Yeah, so that's why they do their thing.
And Loris Bass as well is right on the tail end of these league groups for the last 2 years.
These two guys used to have a podcast. I don't know whether they still have a podcast.
With the situation we have
and I think the lady being interviewed is Hannah.
The third member of the broadcast team, Hannah, into play.
Hannah is a cutie. Ooh, Hannah.
The sun's out again.
Looking cutie looking.
Down hard here. It's very hot out here. It is a dry track.
Hannah is a cutie.
Will be quite different than we saw with less rubber down after the rain.
If Hannah started dating me, man, look at it. A black man. Man, they'll run me out of town. Telling man, white boys be hating sometimes. She's cute though. She's good people.
That's been a challenge trying to dry their gear from the first race today to the second race.
That's Mr. Blocking people. So you can see. So that's a guy who does the mixing.
Definitely an added challenge for our riders today. And then
so the rain stopped.
Yeah,
you can see
great point. And when you
we had some decent rain and it's completely dry.
Crew has to do, it's a crazy one. Sean Dillon Kelly trying to hold out the advances of Matthew Stoltz in this one. We get
There we go. Nice. Man representing China right there. Tao Tao. Chinese, man. I gotta film this one. Everybody got a zoomer. This man brought out the Chinese. He says, in the Chinese we trust. The man brought out the Chinese. He said, in the Chinese we trust. There it is. Tao Tao. So that's a whole paddock setup. You can see how big this place is. You can see some of the rigs. Look at that thing. The rail. Look at that thing. Rail. Big money. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is a nice rig. That's a real deal right there. That's like a coach bus.